And the one thing that you've done for me the last couple of years in particular is get me, and you and others as well, information I've got from everywhere, is that how now this government in this country is fighting not for freedom or for the American people or anything else. We're fighting Israel's wars. The people Israel wants beaten up, we're beating up for them. And I just wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to have access to information I never would have had otherwise, and opening my eyes to something that has been there all along. I just never knew where to look to see if it's true or not. And just from one person who found it himself to anyone out there who hasn't found it yet, please understand, we are fighting Israel's wars everywhere. And when the American people rise up as one and say, we're not going to give one dime to Israel anymore, you want to fight, you want to punch everybody in the mouth, do it yourself. They have the weapons, they have the soldiers, they have the material. Do it yourself. America is not your bully, we're not your thug anymore. And not only then will the American people start to realize again what it means to be truly free. Because being free means standing up for yourself and saying no when you know something is wrong. And I just wanted to thank you again for the platform.
Well, hey, you don't have to thank me. I'm just trying to do my duty.
One thing you also said once, you were tired of hearing people say, we're praying for you, we're pulling for you, and you always said, I want to hear people saying, I'm out doing something, or I'm going to go do something. Well, I tell you, it's happened to me, and I pray for you and other people all the time, but I'm not pulling for you anymore.
Well, listen, I really appreciate your call, sir. We've got open phones here, and a lot of the wars, I mean, a lot of the stuff happening in the Middle East is because of the Israeli lobby, one of the most powerful in the United States. And they brag about this. You know, it's called a conspiracy theory here in the U.S., but they've bought off a lot of the preachers to go spout this stuff. That's public. They have bragged, Ariel Sharon bragged that he owned our Congress. They have bragged, and then Haaretz and Jerusalem Post will jump up and down and say that the U.S. has got to do more to attack Iran and go into these other countries. You know, folks always think that, well, they blew up the World Trade Centers to get the $7 billion in insurance money, or they did it to get the oil, or they did it to be able to invade the Middle East, or they did it for weapon sales, or they did it for opium, or they did it for Israel. It's all those reasons. The New World Order doesn't do something unless, in the cost-benefit analysis, it helps all of their major operations. And this is what it really comes down to in the final equation. The people destroying America are the ones that have got us in this foreign war. It has nothing to do with patriotism. You're destroying yourself. And Israel's very corrupt, does a lot of horrible things. They're very oppressive to their own people. But I do think it's always important to point out that in major polls, over half of the people that live in Israel are against what their government's doing and are upset about it. But then they're beaten back into submission by terror attacks that are stimulated by policies that are oppressive, but also a lot of that is staged. That is, the terror groups are funded. The guy on the ground launching a rocket or blowing himself up doesn't even know it, but it has even come out in Israeli papers that the Israeli state, Shin Bet, mainly their internal security apparatus, has been, quote, creating fake al-Qaeda groups. Quote, right-wing settlers have been caught planting bombs, detonating them. Then I learned that Israel would bomb Jewish synagogues in Turkey, Jewish synagogues in Iraq, synagogues, obviously they're Jewish, they're synagogues, in Spain in the 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, this is mainstream news. This is admitted. Somebody ought to make a film about this. They've written books on it, and mainly it's Jewish writers who were just totally freaked out by this.